big salute to all of my veterans out here. Big shout out to all of my subscribers, man. Like I tell you guys, I can't go one video without showing my appreciation. That's for my veterans right here. Big salute to DAT. Man, if you guys don't have access to the DAT load board, in the description below, I'm going to leave a link, 30-day free trial, DAT. So let's roll straight off into it, man, for you guys that want to start an independent dispatching company. I've been knowing this whole time that freight dispatching is legal to do. There's a lot of people, hey man, is freight dispatching illegal? Look, if you're going directly to the trucking company, putting them under contract, getting on the load board, and basically dispatching for them, finding them loads, that's legal. Any trucking company out here could hire an independent dispatching company to find them loads. Now, once you guys start trying to go directly to the shipper to give freight to trucking companies out here, and now you are going to basically be considered a freight broker. So now you have to go get your broker authority, your $75,000 surety bond. So to keep it simple with you guys out here, anyone could still start an independent dispatching company and dispatch for these owner operators out here, just as long as you're not going directly to the shipper, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. You're just going to be getting on the load board. So that's why I tell you guys, go get that 30-day free trial with DAT. So this is going to come directly from the Fmcsa. I'm going to share basically their guidance so that you guys can fully understand how to operate a dispatching company legally, right? So dispatch services that would not require a freight broker authority, right? So generally, the factors relevant to whether a dispatch service is not required to obtain a broker authority are stated below. So now they're basically going to let us know the guidance directly from them on how to start your independent dispatching company legally, right? So let's roll straight off into it, man. I kind of like doing this too because I'm learning at the same time you guys are learning. Everyone is learning, you know, and that's what it's about. We all have to learn so we could grow. So number one, the dispatch service has a written legal contractual relationship with a motor carrier that clearly reflects the motor carrier is appointing the dispatch service as a licensed agent for the motor carrier. This is often a long-term contractual relationship. So number one is basically telling you, whenever you're starting up this dispatching company and you go out and you start trying to find owner operators in these trucking companies, you have to make sure that you put it in writing, to keep it simple. Put it in your contract, put it in your agreement. Basically, you as a dispatching company, you have to sit down and create your own agreement, your own contract. Then you're going to send that over to the trucking company. So as long as you guys have a contract to say, I'm going to dispatch you, I'm going to get on the load board and find you loads for X amount of time for X amount of percentage too, right? X amount percent, if that's how you say it. Anyway, that all has to be in your contract. So number one, just as long as you have a contract, an agreement, send it over to the trucking company, you guys are going to start on the right path. Number two, we have the written legal contract specifies the insurance and liabilities responsibilities of the dispatch service in motor carrier. The dispatch service must also meet all state licensing requirements. So for you guys right now, the state is not going to basically say, hey, you have to go through this training or this school to become a freight dispatcher. So there is nothing right now that the state is going to say to basically stop you from starting your dispatching company. You just need to understand how to dispatch. And then it says the written legal contract specifies the insurance and liability responsibilities of the dispatch service and motor carrier. So in your agreement, make sure that you put that the trucking company has $1 million general liability policy, $100,000 cargo insurance. If you guys are going to get any business insurance for your dispatching company, make sure that you put that in your agreement. Number 3, the dispatch service goes through a broker to arrange for the transportation of shipments for the motor carrier. The dispatch service may not seek or solicit shippers for freight. So this is kind of going back to what I was mentioning earlier, is that once you guys start going directly to the shipper, then you're going to basically start doing the duties and responsibilities of a freight broker. So now you're going to need a $75,000 surety bond in your authority, right? So number 3 is saying the dispatch service goes through a broker to arrange for the transportation of the shipments for the motor carrier. So basically, that's what you're doing. As a freight dispatcher, you're going to go on a load board. You're going to find a load that was posted from the freight broker. You're going to call that freight broker directly to book that load for that trucking company that you're dispatching for. So number 3, just as long as you guys are getting on the load board, calling up the freight broker, you're going to be good to go. And like I'm telling you, this should just be dispatching one-on-one anyway. No one should be doing anything, differently. Number 4, the dispatch service does not provide billing nor accept compensation from the broker, 3PL, third-party logistics company, or factoring company, but instead receives compensation from the motor carrier or carriers based on the predetermined written legal contractual agreement, right? So number 4 is basically saying that the dispatching company can't get paid from a factoring company, or it can't get paid directly from the freight broker or the 3PL, which is the third-party logistics company. It's saying that the freight broker has to receive their compensation directly from the motor carrier. So like I told you guys in the previous video, every week you should be sending your owner-operators, your trucking companies, invoices. They're going to receive that invoice and then they're going to pay you directly, right? So also, this is going to become a good, this is a question. Can I dispatch for multiple trucking companies, right? So basically, some people out here think that they only could dispatch for one trucking company. But number 4 is telling you right here that it says, the dispatch service does not provide billing nor accept compensation from the broker, 3PL, third-party logistics company, or factoring company, but instead receives compensation from the motor carrier or carriers based on the predetermined written legal contractual agreement. So you guys want to make sure that you're always reading, between the lines. Motor carriers, right? So that means that you could go out and dispatch for as many motor carriers out here, just as long as you're not going directly to the shipper too, right? So that's number 4. Number 5, the dispatch service is not involved in the financial transaction between a broker or motor carrier. Let me say that one more time. The dispatch service is not involved in the financial transaction between a broker and motor carrier. Look, the dispatcher is not going to be involved within that transaction. That's between the freight broker to pay the trucking company. The only thing that the dispatcher is doing is negotiating the rate. That's going to be on the rate confirmation, but that's it. The dispatcher has no other part in that financial transaction. Like I just told you guys, the way that you're going to get paid as being a dispatching company is going to invoice the motor carrier that you're dispatching for on a week-to-week basis. So you guys are going to be good there. Number 6, the dispatch service is an IRS 1099 recipient from the motor carrier or a W-2 employee of the motor carrier as specified in the legal written contract agreement. So here it's telling you to make sure in your contract that you're going to either put that you're 1099 or W-2. More than likely, all of the dispatching companies are going to be 1099. You're going to be an independent contractor. If you're going to be a W-2 employee under that motor carrier, that's going to be basically that motor carrier is going to bring you on as an employee and pay you probably hourly or weekly. But the average dispatching company out here is going to get paid on the 1099, and you're going to have to pay your own taxes. So that trucking company is going to cut you a 1099 at the end of the year, and then you're going to have to pay your own taxes. So just make sure you put in your agreement that you are a 1099 recipient. Number 7, the dispatch service discloses that they are a dispatch service operating under the authority of a specific motor carrier, and the shipment is arranged for the motor carrier only. So basically it's saying that you're going to be representing that trucking company. Right when you guys start dispatching for these owner operators out here, it's going to be 3 documents that you're going to get from the trucking company. Make sure that you get their W-9, their authority certificate, and their proof of insurance, right? So now whenever you're booking these loads, you're going to be representing that motor carrier, right? So it's basically saying that you're not going to book that load from the freight broker under that motor carrier's authority to give to somebody else too, right? So just as long as you guys are not going directly to the shipper or trying to book loads to give to another trucking company, you guys are going to be good. And this is the way that you guys should be dispatching anyway. The Fmcsa is just basically bringing more clarity, which they should have already been done that anyway. Number 8. The dispatch service does not subsequently assign or arrange for the load to be moved by another motor carrier. So this is basically going back to number 7 too, right? So it's saying when you guys book a load as being the independent dispatching company, you're not going to basically give that freight to another motor carrier, you know? So when you're booking that load on that load board, make sure that whatever that company, X, Y, and Z trucking company, whenever you're booking that load for them, make sure that X, Y, and Z trucking company is being dispatched that load, which that's what you should be doing anyway. And number 9, a dispatch service does not provide their services for a motor carrier unless the motor carrier specifically appointed the dispatch service as their agent in accordance with the basically requirements, right? So it's just basically just letting you guys know right here, saying that you can't just go out and start dispatching for a motor carrier without them appointing you to being basically their dispatcher, you know? So of course that shouldn't be happening anyway. So if you guys follow basically these 9 guidelines directly from the Fmcsa, you guys are going to be good starting your independent dispatching company, which I do highly recommend it, you know, for anyone and everyone out here. And also, if you guys are wanting to become freight brokers, you could become a freight broker too. I operate a dispatching company and a freight brokerage. The freight brokerage requires me to have a surety bond and an authority. The dispatching company requires none of that. So that's why a lot of people start out with dispatching, because they don't have to go out and get an authority or go out and start get their $75,000 surety bond too, right? So they just want to start out on the dispatch level. But I encourage everyone out here, man, you guys want to become freight brokers, it's too easy. It's going to be very minimum overhead too, you know? So if you guys want to become freight brokers, send me a text message, you know? Send me a text message, let me know you guys want to become freight brokers. This weekend I will be basically hosting a live freight broker training webinar, and it's going to run from Friday to Sunday, November 25th through the 27th. If you guys are interested, like I say, man, send me a text message, 317-953-8943. Go visit my website, www.extraordinarymovement.com. Go get you 30-day free trial with DAT Load Board. Go sign up with TAFS, Trans and Financial Services, if you guys are looking for a factoring service. Everything in the description link below. So, man, hopefully this quick video, man, was just to give you guys some clarity that you can go out and you can start an independent dispatching company if you guys just make sure that you follow these 9 guidelines directly from the Fmcsa. I got to get back to it. You see it on the wall, see it on my shirt. CEO, commit, execute, and be obsessed. Everybody be great out there.